Politics is all about tyranny of numbers. And if it's numbers that are going to determine the 2027 presidency, these are the reasons why President Ruto will not win that presidency. But before we go to those reasons, ladies and gentlemen, in this channel, we always start with today's phrase. And today's phrase says that it doesn't matter how slowly you go, as long as you don't stop. It doesn't matter how slowly you go, as long as you don't stop. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to those reasons why President Ruto will not win the 2027 presidency in terms of tyranny of numbers. And act number 5 is 3 million payslip holders. The 3 million payslip holders in Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been having a lot of complaints from payslip holders of how salary has been squeezed, of how a lot of taxes have been added on their payslips. A lot of deductions are happening on their payslips. You can remember even the Member of Parliament of Mumias East, Honorable Peter Salas, addressing President Ruto in Kakamega and informing him of how payslip holders are very annoyed to him because of the deductions on their payslips. And these 3 million payslip holders, 90% of them, if not 80% of them, 80% of them are likely not to vote for President Ruto come 2027. So that's the reason number 5. At reason number 4, ladies and gentlemen, is that 30% of Kenyan voters are Mount Kenya voters. 30% of Kenyan voters are the Mount Kenya voters. Mount Kenya region has damned President Ruto. They gave him 49% of the votes he got in 2022. They are not going to support him in 2027. All indicators, all a possible thing can be, nothing can be done to change their thoughts right now. It's now quite clear that those guys are not going to support President Ruto come 2027. And if you're coming from the Mount Kenya region, you can text or you can comment in the comment section if you agree with this statement, that good percentage of the Mount Kenya region that gave him 49% is not going to support him come 2027. So that is the reason number 4. Reason number 3, ladies and gentlemen, is religious factor. President Ruto's presidency was majorly came from a religious point where he went to churches, doing donations, reaching out to Catholic bishops, reaching out to various religious leaders who really are influential in this nation. But that is not the scenario right now. When you get institutions like the Catholic Church coming out to condemn certain actions in the country, like abductions, high cost of living, this goes down to their followers. And I can assure you that the followers of religions are people who really listen to their religious leaders. And religion is one thing that is all through the country. Catholic Church spreads everywhere, into the interiors, and these people are followers attending mass every Sunday, every Saturday. So the statement these religious leaders are making is going to greatly impact on the 2027 presidency. And as for now, the religious leaders are coming out to oppose a lot of things in government. So that goes down to their followers, and it's going to be a very, very difficult time for you to convince the followers of religion to vote for President Ruto come 2027, because the economy is not doing well. A lot of things have been questioned in government. You remember very well there is a time that a lot of various religious leaders came out, held a meeting and condemned a lot of things in government. I think that it's always been even to a point that for the first time Catholic Church returned funds that were donated to government. So that is the scenario, and this thing is really flowing down into their followers day in, day out, and it's going to greatly influence the 2027 presidency. So that is the reason number 3. Reason number 2, ladies and gentlemen, as we wind up, the reason number 2 is the youth or the Gen Z factor of the Kenya. Gen Z factor, Kenyan Gen Z factor. Youth form 70% of the total population of Kenya. Kenyan youths form 70% of the total population of Kenya. And in 2027, youths born as late as 2008 will be voting in that election. In any case, they have the national ID. Youths born up to 2008 will be voting that election. So, out of 10 youths right now, 8 are not supporting government because of reasons of abductions and reasons of the scenario or that mentality they have already created towards this government. If you ask or engage with youth, you'll easily understand that the youth already have developed a negative attitude toward this government. For the first time in the history of Kenya, that youths mobilized themselves, came out and opposed a great financial bill without the mobilization of leaders who have been used like RAILA ODINGA. Youths, Gen Z came out themselves, mobilized themselves in the way they call them leaderless, partless, and tribeless. They came out and opposed a financial bill in the Ruto's government, making great changes even that led to the change of the entire cabinet. Ladies and gentlemen, these youths in 2027, in any case, they are going to cast a ballot. If you are going to give 10 youths a ballot to cast in the 2027 presidency, they are going to vote for somebody else. The probability that they will vote to somebody else is higher than them voting for the current president, that's President Ruto. The last factor, ladies and gentlemen, that we want to look into is the Raila Odinga factor. The Raila Odinga factor. A lot of people have been always believing that President Ruto's government, Raila Odinga factor, a lot of people have been always believing that Raila Odinga is going to support President Ruto come 2027. And that is the greatest dependence of President Ruto right now, because he's already lost the Mount Kenya region. The regions or the constituents that it depends are the Raila Odinga strongholds. But if you ask yourself very well, Raila Odinga is going to make a very great consideration. He has been known as the father of the nation because of fighting for various constitutional rights. He's the one who brought the 2020 constitution. So, what legacy? Remember that Raila Odinga is now a man who is almost getting out of the political hemisphere. So, what legacy is Raila Odinga about to leave for this nation? So, that's one of the greatest things Raila Odinga is going to consider. And him supporting President Ruto, how do you think it will go down with his lineage, the Raila Odinga family, Raila Odinga himself, and how will he be remembered? So, that's the greatest question Raila Odinga will make. And I can tell you, if Raila Odinga is going to go to that consideration, then the chances of supporting President Ruto are going to go absolutely down. Number two, Raila Odinga himself knows that this is the best time for him to run for presidency one last time. Reason being that Raila Odinga has not lost any of his constituency. The 6.9 million votes that voted for him in 2022 can easily be consolidated, can easily come out together, and they can still get the same numbers if he does an effective campaign. Unlike President Ruto has lost 3.5 million votes from the Mount Kenya region. So, Raila Odinga can decide to run for president in 2027. It's not going to be surprising in any way. He can decide to run for the 2027 presidency. And because he knows this is the best time to eat it, and the high chances that if he forms a coalition, a good coalition, then he is going to clinch presidency. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, Raila Odinga can decide to support Kalonzo Musyoka. Kalonzo Musyoka has stood for Raila Odinga for a very long time. And if Raila Odinga one time wakes up and says Kalonzo Musyoka tosha, like what he did in 2002 when he said Kibaki tosha, then it will be a done deal for that candidate. Be it Kalonzo Musyoka, be it Fred Matiang'i, be it whoever that he will say. Because he wants to leave a good legacy. The last reasons why Raila Odinga himself is not likely, the probability of supporting President Ruto are less. What does Raila Odinga benefit after the election of supporting President Ruto? What does it benefit? The benefit is it significant? What after there? How will Kenyan perceive him? So those are the greatest considerations that Raila Odinga is making right now. And Raila Odinga is always an old man. An old man is always a wise man. And as much as a lot of people are believing that he's going to support the Kenya government, then it might be surprising that Raila Odinga will pull a surprise and overturn the politics of this nation once and for all. Ladies and gentlemen, I finish with this opinion poll that was done in Kenya, and a mosquito won. This how annoyed all these how Kenyans are determined. In this opinion poll that was run by Cyprian, a mosquito has got the greatest percentage. You can tell me what you think in your opinions in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. I'll take my humble time to read and give you a response. Otherwise, thank you for staying with us. If you're watching for the first time, take a second or two, subscribe, and if politics is what you like, this is the home of the channel where you should be. Have a nice weekend, ladies and gentlemen, and stay safe whenever you are.